Back in October, I showed you the Daily Greatness journal, which is a kind of a journal planner hybrid, and I will put the link down below if you want to go and watch that video and see what that version looks like. As I said back then, I shared some affiliate codes with you, and for every so many people who purchased using those codes, I got something back. It's a bit like the Erin Condren credit system. And through that system, I've been able to get this version, the business planner, which is the one I really wanted when I saw the various different options. And I've also managed to get another one, so stay tuned to find out about that. It's got a really interesting setup. It's similar to the Daily Greatness journal, but it works obviously better for business planning. So it's got a similar setup, a yearly plan, some quotes and things, some inspiring quotes. The sections are divided into 90 days. So you can see here I've got a blue section, a green section, a yellow section and an orange section. And the idea is you fill in the yearly section, which tells you what your 90-day goals for each 3-month section is going to be. And then for your 3-month section, it's broken down into weeks. This is a quote that I really like. Let your success be measured by how much fun you're having. I think that's a great one for business, especially if you're creative. So it's got some information here on how the sections work, how Lindell originally envisioned it working, but it also gives you other ideas on how you could use it. And I actually haven't bothered reading this because I read the Daily Greatness journal version and it didn't really add anything for what I wanted to use it for. So at the moment, I'm just using it as I find it intuitive to use. And I think what I'll do is after a couple of weeks, I'll come back and I'll read this and see if there's anything extra that I could get from adding to it. Got a little essay on focusing and suggestions on how to identify your top priorities, projects and goals for your 90 days, your year and your week. It's also got information on organisation, finances, personal growth, which is interesting for a business planner. And then we've got thoughts about how to grow your business and remembering that you are the CEO of your business, not the chief executive officer, but the chief emotional officer as well. That's quite an important section, and I really liked the way that this was set out. It's less how to be an entrepreneur and, you know, social media guru thing, and more about creating a mindset that allows you to succeed. More quotes. Urgency creates productivity. That's me. Nothing moves you like a deadline. Then it's got a section on the one-page business plan, the business model canvas and using your business goal planner. Again, I haven't read this section because a lot of it deals with leadership and management and things like that, and I don't really have that because I don't have anybody who works for me. I have a couple of people who help me out on occasion. I've got a tech helper and I've got Tracy, obviously, who does a lot of admin for me, but I don't really, it's not a she works for me situation. It's just, you know, she does things that I don't have time to do and that are repetitive every month. Another section on getting the best out of your planner. And this, the way this works, they've set Sunday as strategy day. So on Sundays, you spend a couple of hours looking back at the previous week and planning for the next week. Again, I don't do that. My Sundays are sacrosanct. I do not work on a Sunday. Occasionally I'll put a video up, but I don't work on a Sunday. So this I actually do on a Monday morning. Monday morning is my planning time, but bear in mind I work 6 days a week. So if you're a Monday to Friday kind of person, then that might not work for you. Sunday or Saturday might be your day of planning and strategizing. For me, I don't have weekdays and weekends. I have Monday through Saturday. So this is your year calendar. You've got 2017, 2018, which makes this planner useful for 2 years. So you don't have to have like a year's consecutive work. You could use it for 3 months to achieve certain goals, and then have 3 months where you don't use it because it's not relevant, or 2 months where you don't use it because it's not relevant. So if you are seasonal, you can make this planner last more than a year. And I should add, everything is undated, so you just use it when you want to. So here's the one-page business plan. Very simple, just boxes, and we've got vision and purpose, mission and values, objectives and goals, strategy and operations, team and staff, and USP and products. So I don't know what USP is. That might be an American term because it's an American product. So if anybody knows what USP and products means, I mean products obviously things you produce, but I don't know what USP is. If anybody happens to know, please let me know. This is just your general thing, you know, what are you about, what are you doing, what's your aim, what's your goal. I haven't filled any of this in yet because I wanted to show you it before I filled it in. Now the canvas, this is quite interesting. This is looking at how you relate to things in your business. So we've got here the key partners. Who are your key partners? Who are your suppliers, your resources, and what activities do your partners perform for you? So this is about people that help you do what you do. Then you've got key activities, which is what you do. What key activities do our value propositions require? Yeah, it's very businessy. What are our distribution channels? What are our customer relationships? And what are our revenue streams? Alongside that, key resources. What key resources do we require? And what are our distribution channels, customer relationships, and revenue streams for that? So you've got activities as in things you're putting out, and resources as in things you have that you can use. Value propositions, here we go, that explains what that is. What value do we deliver to the customer? Which one of our customers' problems are we helping to solve? What bundles of products or services are we offering to each customer segment? And which customer needs are we satisfying? Now, I've used business planners before, and they're always very, and I hate the word, entrepreneurial. It's all very go get 'em, here we are, we're the best, rah rah rah, and it's all very cheerleadery, and I don't like it. What I do like about this is that it's basic. What do you have? What are you trying to do? Who are you trying to do it for and why? How can you help them? Customer relationships. What type of relationship does each of your customer segments expect from you? How can you give it to them and how can you maintain it? How costly are these models to implement? So what are you going to give people and how are you going to give it to them and how are you going to maintain giving it to them? Not just, I don't know. A lot of business planners to me sound very empty. It's just the same old stuff rewritten by social media gurus, and this is not. This is thought-provoking. It's more like journaling than a business plan, in all honesty. The closest I've come to it actually is, if any of you have done Star Gardener's business journaling, I can't remember what she calls it, creative business plan or something like that. It's very much like that one, where you journal, you art journal about what you want to do. This is the same kind of thing, but it's written and it's aimed at making you think about and relate to different areas of your business, not just be the CEO in charge and say make it so, you know. This section is customer segments. Who are you creating value for and who are your most important customers? So you're looking at customers that come back to you time and time again. Then you've got your cost structures. What does all this cost to do? And your revenue streams, where does this come back and how much are people willing to pay for it? Your vision planner, which is a breakdown of your goals. Now, this is something I've never really looked into for my business. I've got a business plan, an overall business plan, and I always have a 1-year plan. But I've never ever looked into 3, 5, and 10-year plans. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. I suspect 10 years is going to be way out of my league. I might be able to manage the 5 years a bit. I am definitely going to try and do the 1 year. Well, I've done the 1 year. I've got the 1 year already. I'm definitely going to try and do the 3 years to see how we can sustain going forward. But I think these two will be a bit out of my range for now because I've never done anything of this. But it is basically how I imagine my business in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years and 10 years. So it's not even setting goals or, you know, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? It's imagine your business in 5 years' time. And when I think back where I was 5 years ago and nearly 10 years ago when I started, it's so vastly different, and I've come such a long way, and I've learned so much from my students that my business has transformed out of anything I could ever possibly imagine. So this is going to be a challenge, definitely. The next section in our yearly plan are your business areas. So you have 8 areas of business. So for instance, I always use yellow is VIP, orange is classes, red or pink is YouTube, blue is admin. I have a secondary blue which I might use for Tracy's admin, stuff that she's doing for me. And then you've got green, grey and whatever that colour is. So I can split this up into my different areas. And across the top you've got questions. What would I love to create in this area of my business? What's my goal? What outcome do I want? What's my purpose for achieving this goal? Why do I want it and how will this goal benefit my business? So one of my current goals is to upgrade my business equipment, and I've been doing that through Patreon. I've managed to upgrade quite a few smaller bits and pieces, and my next one is to upgrade my Mac because it's on its last legs and it really does need replacing before the summer. So what would I love to create in this area of my business, and what is my specific goal? What outcome do I want? Well, what I really want is a Mac that is capable of doing what I need to do that bit faster than the one I've got and that will last me several years. The one I've currently got I bought new in 2008 and it's still going. It's just that for what I want it to do, it's not powerful enough. So I need to go the next step up. And what outcome do I want? I want to be able to replace it with a new one, but I also want to be able to service the one I've got, my MacBook, so that I can use that on the go. So I've got 2 business computers instead of 1. What's my purpose for achieving that goal? Oh, faster video rendering would be nice. Everything is so slow on my poor MacBook. It struggles, it really does. But also it means that I will be able to work while I'm rendering videos, because very often I'm doing videos, I've got a video to render, I'll set it to render, and then I can't do anything else on the computer because it simply cannot cope with doing anything else at the time. So I'm limited to what I can manage on my tablet, which is not capable of displaying the kind of information that I need to use. So how would it benefit? Well, it means I would be able to do spreadsheets and things on my Mac much more easily, and I could perhaps use that dead time when I don't really know what to do with myself because I can't continue because I need to film, but I can't film until I've finished rendering. You know, it's dead time. You can't really do anything constructive and it's quite frustrating. But with this, I might at least be able to do accounts or something. What are specific projects and steps needed to achieve that goal? Well, obviously, you know, that is going to be financial things that I need to set out. How am I going to make it happen? I'm doing it through Patreon. Every month people subscribe to my classes and I've been putting aside the money to upgrade my equipment as I go. When will I achieve this goal? What's the timeline? When is the deadline? It's going to be the summer. I need to get a new computer by the summer or I'm going to be having some issues because it's really not working to its optimum at the moment. This is an expansion strategy. Expansion goals for the next year, turning points, what's working, what can you do more of, what's not working, how can we do it better, or what do we need to stop doing, and other ideas for expansion. I don't envisage using this because I'm not really looking to expand. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing. I just need to manage what I'm doing better. So this might be something that I can look at in the future. Then you've got a social media marketing strategy. I don't really have one of those, so that's going to be interesting. I just post stuff. What's your purpose? What do you do best? How do you behave? What's your overall goal this year, and what's the social media goal? So social goals, content, followers, engagement, revenue and influence. So it's a way of tracking, you know, Instagram posts and how many blog posts you're doing and all that kind of stuff, which I don't really do. I just put stuff up on Instagram and it goes everywhere, and that's the easiest way to do it for me. It might be something that I do need to look at. I'll have a play. So then we've got quarterly budgets, and this is colour coded for our 4 sections. So you've got your blue, your green, your yellow and your orange, and it's basically the expenses and budget and actual and the difference, and you know, just looking at how much you've spent. So this, I wouldn't necessarily bother using this unless it was like a quarterly breakdown of actual figures, because I don't allocate a budget to a project. I don't really need to, because it's all ongoing. So that is the yearly section. Now I'm going to skip to the 90 days section. I'm going to take you to the second lot of 90 days because I'm using the first lot. So this is the green section, I'm using the blue. And again, at the beginning of your 90 days, you have a section for goals for that 90 days, and you have 3 goals. So you could have 1 per month, or you could have 3 goals that are ongoing together, or you know, 3 deadlines or whatever. Throughout it you have these pages. Now these are very clean looking pages, and they're all like this. And what I love about this is that you could write on this, you could draw on it, you could stick stuff on it, you could do vision boards, you could use these pages for absolutely anything. I am currently tending to use them just for scribbled notes of ideas and vision boards and things like that. But you have these at the 90 days, and you also have one every week as well. So it's really useful, especially if you're perhaps a designer and you've got ideas. Like when I have ideas for a piece of art I want to do, I don't always have time to go and grab my sketchbook and do a sketch. So I might do a little scribble with a couple of notes just to say, you know, what is this idea? Here's the basic idea. And then later on I'll go to my sketchbook and I'll work up some thumbnails or some ideas for it. So this is really useful to have blank space. You don't have any additional note spaces in this journal, but you do have these blank pages that you could use if you wanted to. So your quarterly plan, very simple. Your 3 major goals you're focusing on: the goal or project, the target date, the budget, actions to complete it. Completing this goal will allow me to be, do or have more. What? How will I know I've reached this goal in my business? And then on this side we've got projects and action steps to achieve my yearly business goals. So in each section, these are colour coded. Remember this colour coded section here. So what are your 2 action steps to get you there for the next 90 days? How are you going to work towards that? So for instance, maybe my YouTube, it's not, but maybe my YouTube goal is to put up a video every day, Monday to Friday. So how am I going to go about doing that in my red sections? How can I start doing that? Maybe I could start doing Monday, Wednesday and Friday and see how that went. Maybe I could film several videos in advance and schedule them for the week. You know, that kind of thing. And then you get into your week. Now, this is sectioned off, but it's sectioned off in such a way that you can use it any way you want. So this is your weekly priority planner. You've got urgent, waiting or pending, decisions, next week, delegate and important. You could use these in lots of different ways because these don't really show up that much. You could use them colour coded. So for instance, orange is to do with classes. I could put my class notes in here. You might want to use green for finance. You could use these as post-its that you move forward throughout the year. The next page, we've got four major goals I'm focusing on this week: projects and appointments, tasks and actions, and then Monday through Sunday. So it's split into two sections. Now, again, you could use this in any way. You could use this as your week plan and then use the next section, because you've got dailies here. So you could have a weekly plan and then a daily plan if you want to. I'm actually using this as a brain dump section, and then I'm planning on here. Now this is your weekly section, and these are all the same. So in the Daily Greatness Journal, these change every week, and there's like 9 different ones that rotate. These are all the same. You know what to expect, which for business I think is good. So at the top you've got, today I would love, my appreciation and gratitude list for today is, today I'm focusing on being, today I'm going to create, today I'm going to enjoy, and then you've got 3 tasks I will delegate this week. Then you've got your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and for each day you've got my 3 focus points for today, and then you've got 8 till 8 as a list. Vertical planning, obviously. Saturday and Sunday is together, and then you've got next week. And then down here on each week you've got a quote, which, you know, I kind of like quotes. I think they give you something to focus on. This one says, ask yourself, is this an issue for further analysis or simply using my intuition? That's from Tom Davenport, author and professor at Babson College. That's an interesting one, actually. It's a good question, especially for business. Then you've got your week summary. So this is your week check-in. This is your Sunday check-in, which I do on a Monday morning. So what was great about this week? What did I learn? How well did I delegate, and how can I do it better? What challenged me and that I can grow from? That's a good question. What challenged me this week that I can grow from? That's a very positive way of saying what went wrong. What areas of the business need improvement? Did I have fun this week? What would I need to do to enjoy my work more? That's a really important question. And then down here we've got, how many new customers did we sign up? What were our sales figures? How many products or services did we sell? And how many new business connections did we make? You could change those to different things if you wanted to, but again, that's a really nice tally. And then you've got your checklist, collect next week's tasks from last week, create your week's priority list, plan your week using your weekly planner, social media plan for this week or month. And then you've got your page that's for, you know, notes or scribbles or vision board or whatever it is that you want to use that page for. And then you're on to the next week. And that continues all the way through to the end of the 90 days. So here's the yellow section where it starts again. And the 90-day review is at the back here. So after your 90 days, your 3 months, you check in with where you were in your 90-day goals. So what goals have you reached this quarter? What's going well and why? What do you need to start or stop doing? What is one thing I can do this quarter that will create the biggest results in my business? Am I embracing change or resisting it? How can I open up to a more expansion? Sorry, I'm having trouble reading on this colour. How do we give our community? How do we give to our community, and how can we give more? What decision am I making today that I might regret in 5 years' time? And how can I avoid making that mistake? And what in my business am I happy about right now? Then you've got, again, your new sign-ups, your sales, your quarter sales, and your positive reviews and testimonials. And your checklist. Review your page 1 business plan, you review your one-page business plan, review your vision planner, your model canvas, your manager for next quarter's budget, goodness me, celebrate progress, I like that, and plan next quarter's business objectives and goals. So you've got 4 sections like that to get you through the year, all with a view to clearing your yearly plan. Now I've been using it like this. So this section I don't use for notes, I use for my slice planner time schedule. So this is what I've actually done. And then over here, this is my brain dump. So Monday morning, the first thing I do is decide what are my most important things and start making a list of things that I need to do. Then I've got this day to day. I don't like the top 3 actions for today. I'm using that as a focus instead. One focus for the day. So filming, editing, doing pages that I'm filming, doing pages and editing, and doing journal pages, you know, that kind of thing. And then this is my bullet journal. So you can see I'm just, same as always, just putting in what I need to do, moving it across if it doesn't get done that day. And my weeks so far all look like this, where they start out with a big chunk on a Monday and it gets gradually less and less and less throughout the week, which is how it should be, because you're supposed to get to Friday and have finished most of what you wanted to do. I don't really need a next week because of the way I'm using it, so I use this just for reminders. So, you know, order the dog food. The kind of reminders that when you're in the middle of work you think, I really should phone so-and-so before 5 o'clock, which is quite important if you don't keep regular hours. So this is just odd bits and pieces. And what I do is if I have something for next week that I think, oh, I'm not going to get this done this week, I'm going to move it to next week, or I must remember to do that next week, I simply go to next week and I put it on my brain dump page. This is stuff that I wrote down that I brought forward, that I had this idea and it should have gone in here. Next week I must remember to do this, and then this is my brain dump. And because of this is such fine writing, you can actually write over it quite easily in black ink, and you can't see what's underneath. So you can relabel stuff if you want to. And speaking of labels, I found it quite difficult to find the date because there is nowhere to put a date. You can put dates here, but there is nowhere to put this week. The date is, you know, where do you put the date? There is nowhere to put the date. They missed that one out. You know, like these, they've got target dates and everything, but there's no box where you can put date. I suppose you could put it up here or whatever, but if you want to use that section, you can't do that, can you? So what I did was I printed out some labels and I've just stuck them on here on the pages like that, so that as I'm flipping through, I can see what date I'm on and what the dates are. I've also put the week number because it just saves me having to write it out. I did originally start writing these on, and after about 2 weeks I was like, no, I'm not doing this for an entire year, so I just knocked it up in Excel. This slice planners I print out on sticky labels and stick those in. They're undated, so I've put them in up to a certain point, but not the rest. And then these are some collage elements that Courtney Diaz, Little Raven Ink, gave us on Patreon. But that's the business planner. That's how I'm using it at the moment. I've only used it for a couple of weeks so far, but I'm enjoying it and I'm finding it really useful. There's a lot of very thought-provoking information in the beginning, and the way it's set up is very intuitive, but you could also use it in any way you wanted because nothing is so set in stone that you couldn't change it for something else. I'm really enjoying using it and I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes me over the next however long I use it for. Now for the fun part. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I had collected enough credits to get this and something else, and the something else is I have one to give away. So if you're interested in using this business planner for business, tell me down below what your business is and how you think the business planner might benefit you. So nice simple answers, don't get too complex. It's just so that I know who's commenting on, oh, this is a nice planner, and who's commenting to say, yes, I'd like to win one, please. I will put everybody's name into a hat, randomly draw somebody and let Daily Greatness know who you are, and then they will contact you to find out where to send it and everything else.